Fellow Southern Cameroonians at home and abroad, una welcome for this platform, the People's Platform of PRAP. My name na Capo Daniel, the chairman of PRAP. We are the voice of the people. Today, we want to bring una the video footages for Dion Ngute visit for Bamenda. Yes, the Cameroon Prime Minister idan visit Bamenda, the heartbeat of Ambazonian struggle, with little or no resistance from Ambazonian fighters, not even a single gunshot fire. The first thing I want to know before they get into those videos, so that I get perspective. This is the ultimate dream of Cameroon. They don't finally come. Say their prime minister, if you visit Bamenda, no man no up him up for talk anything. For sure say, now they don't win, now they for strong now. Make una no talk say, we no be done talk. So we no be done warn, say this day it come. We be done warn them. Since 2 years ago, and counting, actually 4 years ago, but 2 years ago we will break for form this platform PRAP. For tell our people and say we need for evade, we need for avoid the total loss scenario where some misguided individual they drag way to us. Number one, what is this? Wait one I need to understand. Cameroon done try for a long time for Louis Ambazonians them into this armed conflict for redefine the grievances for our people them, make it become a totally armed conflict issue so that they defeat that armed conflict then can stand talk so they don't win. Now all their strategy that for drag we into war. Now either way, it start this war with Paul Atanganji trying to create an Ambazonian groups. At the end of the day, they say even be better for use our own Ambazonian groups because we get people the way they not understand or they not be committed with the love for our people and for be able to channel our grievances into any meaningful political movement where we go give our people them victory. They don't deceive our people. They don't lure them into armed conflict. They don't motivate them to abandon the core and in public interest for this struggle for focus on an illusion of total win, liberation by force, fighting to fighting, some of which have come as a result of our own ego, our own partisanship. Will focus on me and me alone. Leaders start competing amongst themselves, not for the public interest, but for some glory. My own group, labeling people here and there, traitors, bad, all these type of things have led us to where we are today. So without much ado, make I go for the video. I will come back after the video. I will give a proper presentation for PRAP so that make our people then understand. But make I bring one of the video footage just in case you never see them. Because our people they don't run cool, so the people they need to follow up with where it happen again. So make I bring on a footages and where they come. I will even bring on a video them for over a month ago for the same place for Santa, for Pining in particular. We're gonna see how these things then be cooked up and how it then be manifested today. So make we go for the video. So like that finally for Santa where Dion Ngute ran come, not by helicopter, for Santa with a long convoy all the way from Yaoundé, travel council take reach Bamenda for Santa, enter for Matazeng, enter for upstation, go hold a 3-day walking visit. Una no hear Mumu Lucas, he can't stand he talk. He own have can stand because we don't go fight negotiation one camp. Can't talk say Capo Daniel. We don't ban Capo Daniel for struggle. We don't ban Capo Daniel for mediation. If you ban who that Django to that go banny Mumu. Now the stupidity that way done there for our struggle. It's time for us for Santa. Now for the same place of Santa last time we struggle. Ambazonian leadership then struggle for gather boy them. Motivate boy them, talk for boy them, me boy them like John Okoro E group. They can launch attack for interrupt. At least me one come me the yes on one gunshot. This time, you never hear anything. Before Cameroon, their prime minister had one council for our territory. Normally, our population they don't call we, tell we the people the way they organize them. The people the way they call quarter head them. Quarter head they go down tell we. Chief they go down tell we say no, my hand no dede. Population go they give we intel. Say na this juju group. They don't go call na the juju group. They don't go invite na the people them. Na the people they organize them. Na the one that they talk me people then can they. All those intelligence go down come. We go down put out a strong defense using our propaganda, using social media for tell people them they no go, for caution people them, for educate our people them. But this time you never see any of those things there. You never see those intelligence flow in those same manners, with those same motivation, say our population, the one may will interrupt them. No. Cameroon now they prepare for the election, Ambazonian for their mind, it then become irrelevant. How did we get here? This one not be something for be happy, because the Ambazonian struggle represents the core of our Anglophone, their peculiar aspiration to become self-governance, for express self-determination, for fight for our identity and our culture. A people don't suffer marginalization for such a long time. So this one not be anything for any person for happy. Even though it validate way to way we don't talk and for prep, but not be something we would celebrate them. But we want to make a point me what people they understand, because if we don't understand what they happen, what we supposed to do, we allow those stupidity them, whether they can all over coach people them that be reasonable, for drive all people that be reasonable for this struggle, for leave our struggle in the hands of illiterate, wicked, corrupt individuals who don't care about our people, who care only about their groups, who are in this struggle for the wrong reasons. But watch the video. We'll come back to that analysis. So this is Santa. This is Dion Ngute, Afrique, a francophone colonial master appointed by Paul Biya to be there to represent him, overseeing the military operation. This is Dion Ngute. The population be scanty, nevertheless, you know, we see that massive thing, it become a CPDM issue. When a CPDM people they come. Prime Minister not be Prime Minister for political party. Prime Minister supposed to be a Prime Minister for a country. See how scanty the people then be. Nevertheless, now a very big issue. Say Dion Ngute if he come for Bamenda, if he come for Santa, not be for 1 day, not be for 2 days, for 3 days walking visit. Can't go back, no one eye gone, it no be shot. Ask yourself, say the boy the way they talk say they want for fight for our people them. Whether they can shoot guns, say they want for enforce lockdown. They come up with Bafut can threaten people, they say they want for lockdown. Who said they never can shoot gun? The activists where they talk say they didn't have to motivate people, they mean they go fight. Say now they never fighting. Who said they never talk me that boy they can shoot? Who said they never motivate that boy they mean they can shoot? No, now because those boys where they can shoot guns, say they want for protect lockdown, ghost town every Monday. Then they fight for put that ghost town for fight against Cameroon government or for fight for our people their interests. They put that ghost town because they want to use them like a fear factor for continue their legitimacy for work and kidnap people them. Because they fight now for their stomach. The activists the way they used to motivate, they used to call people that mean they can't stand for challenge the Cameroon government. They're not really doing so because they want to fight for our people their interests. They will do so now because they want to support a particular group where they get their own interests within that group. Or then be driven by hatred for another ambassador where they feel say it will succeed. So they go gather their own boy them for promote them, for get that voice, not for speak for the people their interest, but for speak for this ridiculous thing we don't take over this struggle, this virus. Who's that the Sika Johnson? Who's that the Mark Barata? Who's that all of them? They mean they can't stand for the talk, for the motivate people them, for challenge Dion Ngute. No, they don't go mute because they are not motivated by our people. Their interests will be at stake with this visit. They not be motivated for challenge Cameroon as much as they be motivated for challenge Capo Daniel in leadership, for challenge each other their leadership, for make sure say me some man in no command. That crap mentality we don't take over with for this struggle. That is the reality. The blood, the sacrifices, everything will go for water if we allow such people or such attitude to triumph. No, we can't. That's why we are here as PRAP. To tell our people the truth, to keep them focused on what really matters on the ground. I'll bring it all to you. Let's watch the video. It's about 3 minutes. Then I'll bring the former. So this is Mbalengam, one of the villages in Santa that welcomed him in Matanze. Look how scanty they are. Nevertheless, it is something very significant. So Dion Ngute have finished the visit. He is now leaving Santa after that 3 days walking visit. And look at the convoy by car. Where are the IEDs that the boys used to plant Why they don't come and plant it here? Now the real target in this. Now the Cameroon government, this one I talk so now the fighter. Who said and they for day? So why can you not fight the Cameroon government? Because you can't, it is not possible to continue to fight that war the way you are fighting when you don't focus on the real people. When your own focus is about your money. When your own focus is about extortion. When your own focus is about other leaders, other groups. You can't succeed like that. That is why we have where we have headed to the situation where it's like this. So the only the other camp, the one that go plan bomb for Bui, for all those area them. What effect does it has in the reality when the reality come like this? This is the reality. This is the Cameroon government. This is what the world will look and to see if we are winning or we are losing. I want to tell us we ran lost track. Una say because some one boy get gone for inside Bui, it will make any meaningful difference. No, this is the reality. So when we always talk about the broader picture, we say General Sagat for can talk for year. The failure, not that ability for we for leadership, for allow a leadership where it get at least a reasonable support from all other leaderships them on what is right. For lay our people them a good sense of cohesiveness, a good sense of one direction where they feel listen to people them. They feel listen, no say they want to rules them. Some soldier no fit go touch pikin, some soldier no fit go kill another one, some soldier no fit go kill another soldier, some person no fit can begin attack another Amazonian leader because of his opinion. Those basic rights they will get them, will be cardinal to our own beings them. We don't violate them so much way our population, our fighter, then they no fit be in cohesiveness again. They no fit. We don't see corruption within our own movement. Where people they don't take money for my trip to Boya, chop them, go sign deal with CDC for make money, sacrifice soldier them. Ayabacho do the same thing. Pray me so one day for prison. Go up and down, do this and that and that and that. It then disintegrate, completely shatter any leadership for providing for the boys them. Any leadership for generate attack for defend our own interests because those interests have undermined, have become secondary, and the group interests have become primary. Personal and individual interests have triumphed over the collective interests. At every twist and turn, people have made decisions choosing their own private interests ahead of our people. And now we are in this situation. So this one at the Ngute, a convoy in the leave. Santa, after the 3 days walking visit, they go back for Yaoundé. Now all team will they find and talk about what's the problem there? Because the strategy for Cameroon right from the beginning, now for redefine this problem. Say this problem now an armed problem, now a conflict for fighting. Ambazonian them, they use conduct titles for motivate our soldiers and for deceive them, say we are fighting now against normalcy. They talk say who's a place near the hot. Boy, they need to make noise. They don't make and wouldn't be derailed. Because we need to listen for sense. We need to hear for people the way they get rationale. People the way they know principle. People the way they don't study government. People the way they know what they talk about. They don't deceive them. And this one now be presented and be seen, which is, in this context, as a big victory for Cameroon. So anyway, I want to show now how this thing is started. Because over 2 months ago, the Cameroon people, the way they champion the cause, then come for inside Pini, come bribe people them, then register en masse. They register en masse for Cameroon election for inside Pini. General Okoro, he come, all them, they should not quiet. Why? Because time where you see the place for inside for ground zero, where they don't fight, where the population itself, they don't wake up for their own protection, drive Ambazonia camps. Those part them, you need to see this type of things for day. Why? Because for the most part, those are the part that actually stand with the people's interests. To be honest with you. So in Santa, the area Menka, Buchi, and all those areas who have driven out Ambazonia forces, those areas do not even have Cameroon activities there because those people are more conscious about our public interest. But in Santa, in Pinyin, where the camp of General Okoro is, where the biggest Ambazonia camp is, what is happening? This idiot, this guy, this ex-convict, Fabiano Deco, when we were presenting this problem, was coming out to say that, no, na Pinyin people that they support Ambazonia, the people that were Menka, the other one, na blackleg them. This is what happened in Pinyin. Let me show you people. what happened 2 months ago before this visit started so that you know how this visit was successful. So this is in Pinyin. A month ago before this visit came, what happened? This in Pinyin, they organized the people in Pinyin, youth in Pinyin, after they have bribed the soldiers, the remnants of Amazonian soldiers there, to go and register for election en masse. These are the images that I have not shown you, or that you are not aware of what was happening. So they don't bribe people them. Now they test this of the ground before the Ngute come. Gather people and then go register for vote very well. So they deceive now. Now this is not a community thing that the community is going to register for vote or to register in a meaningful way that will reflect our interests. Because if you have the people in Buchi, people in Menka who are of our interest, register en masse, you have the right signaling going to Yaoundé. But what are you having now? Paul Atanganji's cronies who have manipulated the Ambazonian struggles are the ones going around now with election lists, not a general election list, to reflect constituency where they will come and say, this is my list, this is my list. And they'll use those lists in appointment. Like I have explained to our people time and time again, there used to be a time in Cameroon where they use census. They'll send workers to go and do census. Census is to know the population size. Those census were used to decide where the government allocates ministers, how they do recruitment for gendarme, how many people will be taken from this area, how many people will come from this village. They used to use census to do those things. But now the Cameroon government have changed the tools that they use. They don't longer use census and all those things. You don't see them go around doing census and all those things. What they are using now is electoral list. Electoral list will reflect the part of the country that is participating in the government, and they will allocate government positions to those areas. So when they are doing election registration, our people don't register. You look at the electoral list, you see that Anglophone area do not even exist. It is now Maroua, the North, Grand North and Yaoundé that dominates the scene, because they have deceived our people not to register for elections because they understand the game. And those people now who register, who bring electoral list, where it means that their own animal right, they don't catch for bush for and for pobia. The people who come now with that list are the people who have bribed the Ambazonian soldiers, the people who are working with the CPDM people. They come and gather their list. They go and show that, okay, now me I don't bring list for Santa. Only that CPDM people they don't bring them. Because they don't use Ambazonian struggle for silence those who they represent their people, the SDF and all those other people. Then when they want come for election, they go give election position them. Now for those people, they then bring electoral list. Then the rest of the population will be silent. So instead, for stop all this mafia them, we need to do things them properly so that it not go be na thief people the way they work with Tanganji Port, they work our electoral list. Make us show the video me play Muna Siviti about Santa. These things are so complex. The common man no fit understand. We do our most possibility for explaining about people them. Me to understand the mafia, the intricacies them, for the calculation the way they go. So now the list then is that I even show you some of the paper and that for the list and that for background. With all those things going on. But we will focus for our main subject. I want to just show now those images so that we know how these things come about. They don't just come about one day as a result of a mistake. So you have seen fellow Southern Cameroonians at home and abroad. You have seen the visit of Ngute in Bamenda. So it is a crossroad in our history where finally Cameroon's dream of sending their prime minister to Bamenda have happened without any visible resistance. For them, this is a big victory. But make no mistake, this Cameroon dream of no mercy, which they have fight to put in the mind of people, no mercy is a war of no mercy, is finally here, where their prime minister have visited the heart of our resistance with no recorded, absolutely no recorded resistance or gunshot, as our people have put it. They want to measure it in gunshot. Is this a very big victory for Cameroon? The answer is yes and no. Yes in their propagation, but no in reality. The visit of Ngute in Bamenda with no resistance can be seen or will be projected as victory for Cameroon. But is that real victory? So, they want to show this to the world that the Anglophone crisis, the Ambazonian struggle, is fading in silence. That is what they want to portray. But let us be absolutely clear. Silence of the Ambazonian struggle, as it is known, is not peace. Calmness is not justice. The grievances that ignited this struggle, that have been redefined to become an armed conflict, still remains. It is still raw in the mind of our people. It is still unresolved as ever. The bilingualism imposed still exacerbate the situation. Our people are not safe. Our people still yearn, not for appeasement, not for tokenism, but for negotiated settlement that acknowledges their identity, that restores the dignity and guarantees their right of self-governance. These are the core of the issues that cannot be dismissed. Can't be dismissed. Let history judge us truthfully. The landscape of our struggle have shifted because of our own implosion in Ambazonia due to the crap mentality that have penetrated this movement as a virus. Yes, we collectively, Anglophones, we collectively, the Ambazonian leadership, activists, whatever you have called, have made mistakes. Strategic, tactical, even moral mistakes. We must be courageous enough to acknowledge that we have made these mistakes, recognizing that the path forward cannot be built on guns and violence and fear and intimidation of our own people, cohesiveness of our own population. It does not mean, this does not mean that abandoning this way that you have known is submission to Yaoundé. No. No. It means that we have chosen wisdom over destruction, legitimacy over lawlessness that have penetrated our movement. We must make that choice as those who champions this struggle, who speak for the people, who yearn for their aspiration. To the Cameroon government, I have a message for you. Hear this very clearly. Do not make mistake. Do not mistake a tactical silence. This is a tactical silence for surrender. Do not interpret a temporary low in hostility as an endorsement of the status quo. Do not make that mistake. The pain of our people to rule themselves is still there. We don't want the governors, the SDUs. The injustice against our people remains and are unresolved. A people whose voices are denied will not be outlived by this normalcy. No. Using military force. No. The Cameroon government, the CPDM Paul Biya regime, the Frank Afrique regime, you cannot manufacture a crisis. This is a manufacture of a crisis through systemic marginalization and attempted assimilation of a people. Admit to it as your president did, and then turn around to stigmatize those who rose up against, imprison and kill those who rose in resistance. That is not reconciliation. Reconciliation means you reconcile with your mistake. You have attempted to assimilate the people, and this is your product. This is moral hypocrisy, that you recognize that you had an attempted assimilation. Then those who rose up to resist that your attempt, you put them in prison as terrorists. You stigmatize them and want to claim victory without giving them a say. We must confront the root causes of this conflict. The denial of Anglophone identity, the forceful erosion of the federal promises of the Union during the 1996 Fumban Accord, Constitutional Accord. The betrayal remains fresh in the mind of our people. Until both parties come to the table, and unto those who legitimately represent the people's aspiration for self-determination, those who have fought for it, those who have championed it, as corrupt as some of them may be, they are representing the people's aspiration. They represent Ambazonia. Ambazonia represents self-determination. They must be allowed to sit with respect on the table. The resistance will continue. The world should know that, and Cameroon should know that. It will continue. Not as necessarily as it was, but in the shadow, in every broken promises and failed opportunity to sit down and resolve this issue. For every unjust trial that is committed in Yaoundé, for every silencing of our people's voice, every cover-up of every crime, criminals like Ngala Gerard, criminals like Moja Moja, Paul Atanganji, and what they have instigated and what they have done will continue to lead to further resistance that cannot be controlled. Let us be bold to say the truth. Those who are branded as terrorists, many languishing in prison without fair trial, like Ayok Tabi and the rest, Penterens, are not terrorists. They are children of Bia's failed assimilated attempts of the destruction of a union. They are the human cause of poor Bia's failure to listen when he's supposed to have listened. The blood of Cameroon soldiers, the blood of Ambazonian fighters alike, has been shed for a cause that could have been avoided, for a war of shame, if only dialogue had been chosen over denial. Now, they have accepted the problems, but they are in denial of the product, the children that this problem have born. It can't work like that. To our brothers and sisters in the Ambazonian movement, I want to say this to you. Listen to me and listen to me carefully, because what I say, it takes you 2 years to listen. May God help you to listen very well. We too, as Ambazonians, as the core of our nationalism, we carry the responsibility. Our aspiration for self-determination must not threaten the greater good of the region. If we ask others to compromise in Cameroon, we ask the Cameroon government to compromise, we too must show the willingness in our discourse to make difficult concessions. Cameroon president did not make concessions on the negotiation table. He did so on social media in France. We must do the same. We must change our tune. So long as they do not betray our people's core identity and aspiration, concessions must be made. It's a give and take issue. If the Cameroon state truly respects our right of self-determination, as they claim in offering this their cosmetic special status issue, then we must be ready to offer a roadmap that reassures stability, coexistence, and peace for our people. We must not be obsessed with any ideology of any prescribed solution. We must be open. Cameroon have declared special status something that they say it is non-negotiable. We must understand the shifting times, the shifting dynamic. This is not a time for posturing. It is not a time for leadership struggle. True leaderships must be able to reflect the changing dynamic and do what is necessary to secure a future for our people. We must do that. Until then, I will say, Aluta or the struggle continues. Not with the guns as you have seen it, but with the voice of the mothers whose sons are missing, whose sons are in Kondingi, the prayers of teachers who see their schools system being undermined, GCE board being taken to Yaoundé. The struggle remains, with chieftaincies, chiefdoms all across our territory being manipulated by a system in Yaoundé. The struggle remains, with our people who go to hospital in Boya, in Kumba, in Bamenda, and they still hear French. The struggle continues when we see policemen who cannot speak English, who carry kale kale. The anger for youth whose future have been denied is still there. The anger still exists when Pen Terence Manchu BBC sits in prison being labeled as terrorists when we know they are not. The anger still remains. Let history remember this moment as the very time that we have chosen dialogue. Yes, we who have championed this struggle have chosen dialogue over destruction. We have chosen dignity over domination. We have chosen justice over jingoism. And the burden remains in that of Cameroon. If they want to go along with this game thinking this is victory for them, that victory still comes at a cost. Their children still die every day as we see. God bless you. We stand strong and we'll keep on fighting and advocating for our people. Ciao.